Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Howdy.
Welcome to the Anything More Where Anything Goes. My name is Miguel. And today I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. I don't remember
Jason
what your name is.
Momoa's gay cousin.
Oh, again.
Yeah, dude,
I forgot about that character.
Yeah, I don't got much going on today.
Nah, it's all right. It's a very weird day. Like, you slept until 10 o'clock, which I don't think I've heard you do for a couple months. And
That means
outside right now has the Breaking Bad filter.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're in Mexico, and I had to pull a factory reset, but I think I'll be back to normal tonight. So don't mind the dresses and shit in there. That's for the holiday season. Don't worry, you'll see in the October special when we launch the OnlyFans for the Anything Bowl.
Oh, that's right.
You can't see it,
69.
but you can't see it, but the closet's open. You can see a bunch of dresses in there. That's for other stuff. So maybe you can see. I don't know the angle.
That's Matt's side
probably. Yeah, make a little extra cash. How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
You know me, I like to finesse. I had 4 days off of work because I wanted it.
I want it.
Went back today. Had a nice early shift. The vibes were actually great. Like, I had stuff to do all day. I got there early. I wasn't by myself. Everything was good. My feet hurt like a motherfucker because I spent 4 days kind of sitting around, kind of not walking a ton. And then I walk in there today and it's like 21,000 steps. So
21,000, my God, guy. Oh
every day. It's anywhere between 21 and like.
You beating me out these days. I only get like 15 to 16. God damn.
Fucking hurt. But that's because you work 5 hours, man. It's different.
Well, no, I mean, even with an 8 hour, it's like 15, 16K. Really? Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
Smaller
what are you doing today?
What am I doing? What am I planning for today? My grandma's birthday. So we just be doing stuff for my grandma's birthday. So now we're just having a nice dinner. And
Grandma's birthday.
And that's about it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. How about?
Not a ton going on. I've come to realize that with us right now, because we're so focused on these movies and the snack times, and it's a lot of fun, that I think I've said it before, unintentionally, the main has just like not become like a side project or like fallen behind, but there's so much going on that the main isn't always our main focus anymore. It's just like a chance for you and me to sit down and be like, oh, what happened this week? Oh, shit. All right.
It's almost like, what do you call it? Like
a podcast.
It's like no. Well, yeah, it is. I was gonna say now the main has become the side. It's a side chick this week. So but I mean we had some interesting news this week, so we can start just jumping right into
I'm excited.
that.
It's gonna be fun.
So to start off, I don't really have a Florida man story today, but I do have a Canada man story. Well, Canada man. My theory is that it's first of all, thank you New York Times for being a fucking dick sucker and not showing the fucking
I gotta find
article.
a different link.
Find a different link, please. But I'll just tell the people what's going on. Well, they probably already do know what's going on. Canada man burns down a forest. No. Canada wildfires are basically making New York and New Jersey and Northeast area into Breaking Bad filter. Smoke is just traveling down south from those wildfires. It's causing a lot of trouble in the air quality index as well as visibility for people in that area. I figured Miguel could speak on it more because from what I read up, it's already reaching Maryland. So I'm going to be really surprised if it makes it down to me, which would be fucking insanity.
Wow, dude, that'll be fucking wild if we all get to experience it. Well, first of all, right, by the time this goes up, I hope this is blown over already. Haha, badoom. I hope that it's over with because it's a lot. And it's weird. Like, I didn't hear anything about it. Mind you, I'm not someone that sits around and watches the news. But yesterday, I think Justin put in our group chat, he's like, oh man, tell the Canadian air that you're smoking to stop. And I was like, that's a funny joke. I don't really understand what he's talking about.
He was talking about a friend of the podcast. Is a very bad smoker. She probably caused a forest fire for all I fucking know.
No, dude, I got a notification then from the weather app where it's like air quality warning. And I'm like, I ain't never seen that before in my life. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And by the time I got home, it's like, oh my God.
You good?
No, I got an email about them trying to push masks right up front right now.
Great. We're starting with that shit
and
again.
I feel like it's not good because they're like one of the masks are on sale or something. So they're like, oh, this is the perfect time. First of all, that's fucked up. Second of all, I got home, bro, yesterday.
It's also kind of smart though.
It is incredibly smart, but like fucked up. That's why I don't want to do it. I got home and everything was just like turning yellow. I was like, oh, I got to check the forecast. Is it supposed to be like cloudy and shit? They're like, no, it's like 85 degrees. I'm like, okay, so something's up.
Yeah.
It was fine it wasn't fine. It was okay yesterday and last night, but then I got to work this morning. The sun came up and everything's just yellow. Everything's yellow. It's like tough to breathe. I'm asthmatic, so I've got like my mom.
Probably a bitch for you.
I feel fine right now, but I got like my mom and Timmery's grandmother calling me up, and every single person's like, you should be wearing a mask. Like, you of all people, you should be doing that. So I wore a mask at work. I made sure to tell everybody that I didn't miss doing that. Not that I'm like anti-mask, but being like an essential worker during those 3 years, it was 24/7.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't got to do that no more.
I'm glad I don't have to do that more either. That shit sucked.
There's a couple people that just like up and went home, and they keep sending people home because of air quality or whatever. Brendan was actually going to come by and be on the main today because his job sent him home at like 11 o'clock. But then when he got home, they're like, "Oh, you're just going to work from home." Haha.
Fuck is that shit?
I thought that was funny.
So stupid. I would have just called out at that point. Be like, nah, I'm just leaving early for today. PTO and all that shit.
It's just
That's crazy.
Stupid.
So stupid.
Well, it's kind of, you know what's going on, but if you didn't know what's going on, it is scarily like apocalyptic.
Oh, for sure.
Where you just like, I went outside to get gas and it was yellow, and then as I'm walking inside, it looked like two different parts of footage with two different kinds of color grading on them. Where inside was so blue and like white and vibrant, and outside is just Mexico.
That could just be a good meme. Just like you're going down your main street. If you're going down, I know because you're by 46. So if you're going out to the right, it's just like, I'm sorry, we'll have to help you another time. And then you look to your left. You are finished. I love that.
The Breaking Bad filter.
Love it. Yeah, man. But hopefully for the people out there, stay safe. Hopefully this is coming out this Friday.
Oh my God.
Friday the 9th. Am I right about that? Yeah, Friday the 9th. So hopefully if this shit isn't too terrible by then, but knowing how the current status of it is, it might be going for maybe a couple more days. So just thought we put our own advisory out there amongst everybody else, Plus it's interesting. Plus you're by it, so it's a good take to get. What's not a good take is U.S. actor Danny Masterson, who's famous for being on That 70s Show, actually was found guilty on 2 rape counts. Now, this has been in process since 2020, but unfortunately, it's come to the conclusion that, unfortunately, he's kind of a piece of shit. So, it sucks, dude. He's facing up to 30 years in prison. Oh my God. And apparently all the women that he messed with used to be members of the Church of Scientology. Of course, he wasn't charged for the drugging, apparently, which was involved in the case, but he was charged and indicted for committing the rape charges themselves. And main reason being, too, is that they're saying that the Church of Scientology and his status, obviously, was kind of hiding all that sort of stuff, and he was doing, like, all sorts of, like, payouts, especially during the Me Too movement, to kind of alleviate that. So, of course, at the end of the day, even the Church of Scientology now has come out and says, we didn't know the fuck. We don't fuck with that shit. Get the fuck out. So they even, here's the better part. So, I mean, that's just like the conspiracy, but let's be honest. Church of Scientology is a bunch of weird fucking shit. Look it up once in a while. But even they actually made him.
Like, we don't claim him.
Dude, they said that he had to sign like an NDA and like pay like $400,000 because of the prosecution that was involved as well. So he had to pay their legal fees as well. He's just done a lot of shit, and that sucks, dude. I mean, like, listen, at this point, I'm not saying that Danny Masterson's a good guy, because obviously, eyes of the law and thorough process says he's not. It just sucks because, like, me and Miguel kind of, I mean, he's like, like anybody grew up. It's like probably like how some people felt when they were watching the Cosby Show growing up and they found out about all this shit. You're just like, wow, dude, that's fucked up, dude.
That does make sense. Now I know. Because I'm like, man, fuck. I love That 70s Show. I love The Ranch was my shit, and then they fired him before the last season.
Yeah, I remember that.
That sucks, because he was like the best part of that show. Mm-hmm. And then they started That 90s Show. We talked about it a couple months ago, link in the bio. And
yeah,
I'm sitting there, I'm like, look, I need this to end okay. I need it to end okay, and then Netflix comes out and apologizes for firing him, and then he comes in the second season.
They apologize for firing?
No. I'm saying if he was found innocent, then they would come out and they'd be like, we apologize, we stand by whatever. But no, of course, homie had to actually go out and fucking do it. Now we can't have a good TV show because the Scientology motherfucker with the scraggly hair drinking a large iced black coffee, psychopath,
fucked it up for everybody.
Just had to go and fuck it up for everybody.
Oh, fuck it up for everybody. How are Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis gonna not shower on set now? It's fucked up, man.
What?
But you didn't hear about that? That was like a big story like 2 or 3 years ago.
No, I heard about it.
Yeah, so so they'd be stanking. They're stanking physically. Masterson stanking everything. So.
Everything. Oh my God.
It's a shame, but hey, I mean, unless there was something that was overturned, man, sorry. But fuck the homie Danny Masterson. I'm sorry.
Rest in peace. We don't claim you no more.
We don't claim you no more. Sorry. Onward. SAG-AFTRA. AFTRA. I can never say that shit. I always make it sound like, what's that movie? Ad Astra?
Ad Astra. Yeah. No, bad movie.
SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA. Members approved strike authorization by overwhelming margin via Los Angeles Times. So it's no secret that like that's kind of been like the biggest news in Hollywood for the past couple weeks now. Of course, I think now they're on their 6th week of protests at this point. And now you have like almost basically over 160,000 people who are unionized saying, fuck this shit, help us the fuck out and get us the right deals. So they're trying to push this at this point. They're not at a walkout yet, but they're getting very close to it. Because they said the reason why is because they understand that the streaming market is so oversaturated, but they're using older models that they used to use for TV royalty, payouts and all that sort of stuff. So, and it's affected a lot of shows. I mean, like even like it's affected like shows like The Community, a lot of Netflix shows still to this point now.
A lot of stuff is getting delayed. Some of the biggest in the middle of production.
Oh yeah, even like I heard maybe some rumblings that even it's affecting the Continental. Just anything right now, dude. Like everything. I've seen it all. Delayed. So
Captain America seems to still be filming.
Surprisingly.
I know.
I don't know. I'm waiting for that shit to get shut down, but well, it's also
new title, by the way.
I mean, I also don't really care much for Anthony Mackie's Captain America.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that.
Yet. He has the movie. I'll give it to him. Let's see what happens.
The movie has a new title.
No, I know. I know. I heard about that. We could talk a little about that too. But no, I mean, I have hope for it. I'm giving it time because I don't want to make a judgment off a TV show that was like rushed during pandemic. Mediocre shit. So, but anyway, back to this story here. Yeah. So basically, all they're just saying is that we need better payouts. We need better health coverage and pension plans, and like actual living wage stuff that most companies get.
Yes.
So it sucks, man.
Most companies don't want to pay the people a living wage, and that seems to be the problem across the fucking board.
That's a problem across entertainment in general.
Where's the one commenter? Where's the one commenter that's like, just because your generation don't want to work, go fuck yourself.
Oh, that guy, yeah, fuck you. Yeah, first of all, fuck yourself. It's 2023. Do whatever the fuck you want. Want to be a writer? Sure. You want to be a garbage man? Sure. You want to be a prostitute on OnlyFans? Go to right the fucking head.
Go ahead.
That fucker wouldn't make any money anyway. But the point is, these people should get compensated for a more modern system. So I'm glad that it's happening because it's not going to be only movies and TV. I mean, even in my market, and to our market, really, if you think about it, like music and podcasting and all that sort of stuff too.
Yeah,
you hope that it makes a chain effect, so yeah, man.
Fingers crossed. Shout out to all those who are striking right now. We can't really help you because we don't know how. Why
did I just figure like you're on some Lil Wayne shit and be like, yeah, man, shout out the protesters, put your lighters up in the air.
Shout out East Side. Shout out west of 49th Street.
Brought it 33rd.
All right, onward.
Oh, I hear the tired hitting you, buddy. Keep it up. Come on, man. You got this.
We're going to go see Transformers at like 4 o'clock or at 7 o'clock. I got 4 hours.
You'll make it, baby. I swear. Trust me.
I'm sure, dude. This is my movie of the fucking year, bro. I'll be fine. All right, I'll do what I got to do.
Good reviews so far. Well, decent reviews, I should say so far.
Better than expected. Oh, speaking of a movie that everyone's excited about, but are really mad at us about, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, second biggest box office of the year opening.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the second or third highest animated movie weekend. Something a bit more specific.
It's the second biggest of the year. But in terms of animated movie, yeah, I think it's definitely up there too. I didn't look up that number precisely, but yeah, 120 domestic first weekend, 208.6 around the world internationally. I'm really happy, man, because you know what it is? I'm just glad to see that out of all the Marvel, IPs, Spider-Man's always something that I've grown up with. So I'm really glad to see that they just have kept doing it right, so.
For the most part, yeah. You had
a flub here and there, right?
We talk some shit.
Yeah, that's true. But overall, also, I think when we were doing these lists this past week, I just have such a bias because, like,
Obi.
Like how when you were in first grade, like every kid had like that obsession, right?
Yeah.
Like there was kids that were in the fucking Hulk and I was a Spider-Man kid. I was fucking Spider-Man for Halloween.
Yeah.
I got the plates for my birthday. Every fucking birthday from 1 through 7 was just Spider-Man. The cake was. I could show you the pictures later, but
dude, that makes sense. I'm the Transformers kid, so
you were the Transformers kid.
Yeah.
No. I know. What I mean is like No, because you know what it is? I've known you from the point where it was Marvel. So, like, I don't know everything, but I do know Transformers. How into it, I didn't know, dog. I didn't know until recently.
I got it. You'll see when you come up here. I got a closet. In my closet, I still have a bin of some of my Transformers from when it was like 6 or 7. There's a couple in there.
Little classics. Can we selling them on Mercari? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Nah, they'd be broken.
You could buy a house if you save those long enough, if they're that rare.
Nah, they'd be open. They're missing pieces.
Oh, never mind.
Broken as shit.
One man's garbage is another man's piece of shit. So
Facts.
I do gotta say that, but I'm excited. I was really happy to see this movie, and overall it was a good time.
It was a great movie. People are very angry at us.
They were very angry at us. I mean, if you're on the date of recording this, we just released we had a tier list in the review on Across the Spider-Verse on Monday and Wednesday. Yep. And man, granted, the ratio seems to make count. Like, we don't really pay attention too much. Like, if anything, I was kind of getting home from work last night and my phone was just blowing up.
It was crazy, dude. So many people are angry and excited.
Yeah, and I was looking at the comments, and some of them were just like, because I think you and me have matured enough to a point with this whole thing where it's like, you don't really let comments bother you too much, so you sometimes just look at this, or it's just so funny. Like, I respect the opinion. Like, if you love the movie, like, I'm not trying to clean my slate here, but I think I definitely like the movie a bit more than Mig and Brendan. I'm not trying.
I didn't do it.
Because you got the comment where it says, we all think this has hold on a minute. No, I do agree with some of their points, though. I agree with some of their points, but I think overall, I think I had a bit more. Which one?
Where they said we eat mayonnaise out of a jar? That's my favorite, dude. I was hanging out.
I love that shit, dude.
I was hanging out with my coworker this morning, and I was like, "Oh, you want to see these crazy comments people be posting?"
Yeah, it was one of the comments. These guys eat mayo out of what? I feel like, what were they saying? I feel like they were saying about that Brennan.
I think so.
I eat mayo out of a jar from time to time.
I just think it's fucking funny, dude. They're like, "I'll help your wife do the dishes," and I said it to Timmy, and she's like, "Wife."
He's so considerate. Yeah, man. But overall, I think next coming up this week, we got some Transformers stuff coming for you. So the movie train's gonna keep going, but we just wanted to give the props where it's due and just say good fucking job for for the cast and all that shit, dude. By the way, I just wanted to bring note of it too. Now we're on the topic of Spider-Man still. I love the fact that now I follow a bunch of MCU fan pages now, and some of the things that they keep bringing up is because Andrew was getting into it with with Gwen, and then that whole thing with Toby and Mary Jane, and then of course Tom and Zendaya, and then they show the Riz factor compared to. I sound so bad, dude. I really should know the actors, but between Miles and hold on, let me just make. I don't want to be a stupid. Yeah, between Shameik and
Haley Steinfeld.
And bro's trying to Riz it up. He's like, oh, if they could do it, I could do it too. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing? I hate it, man, but I love it.
You gotta do the shoulder thing, though.
Hey. The shoulder thing?
The shoulder thing.
The shoulder. Oh my god. But good shit. I'm gonna probably rewatch this movie when it comes out for sure.
Onward. 100%.
So the big news of the week.
Ooh, the bulk of the week.
Developer content.
WWDC 23. One of the first Apple conferences in a while. I feel like I say that every time. Maybe it's not the first one in a while, but one of the few conferences I got to watch live as it was happening and then react with people on Instagram and
this
whatever.
is a pretty important one. I mean, I know we say every year, but I mean, this one was big, definitely important, This is we can walk new iPhone levels of important, in my opinion.
Oh, I know. It's... I don't want to say it's bigger than iPhone levels, but it's up there. It's definitely fucking huge. So just to go in order of the releases, right? You got your MacBook Air, 15-inch. We knew it was going to happen. We talked about it on the last week's episode.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think my opinion still stands on that, and I'll just say this. Having a 15-inch Air kind of defeats the whole point of buying an Air, in my opinion. That's just me, though. Because you get a 100%.
Slim factor. I agree with you.
Yeah, a slim factor, but I was telling my friend Oscar the other day, I said, bro, what's the point?
Why call it the Air?
Why call it Air at that point? Why even make it? You're defeating the market purpose. This is for maybe kids that go to college or a mom who just wants something to stow away when she goes to some shit like that. 11 or 13 inches is perfectly fine for that purpose with an M chip. So I don't know, but hey man, that's just as Apple being Apple. Mac Studio M2.
I'm just opposed to laptops in general at this point, so it's fine.
It's fair. It's fair.
Mac Studio, I have the first Mac Studio with an M1 Max chip. Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It helps run the podcast for the bulk of it. It's
now
a great machine.
Get another one. No, I'm just kidding.
There was rumor for a long time that the Mac Studio wasn't going to get the update because the Mac Pro would have the M2 Ultra chip, and then it'd be like, what's the purpose of the Mac Studio? It got updated anyway, up to 192 gigs of RAM. Fucking crazy. Not enough of a power leap for me to even consider trading in my computer to get some kind of upgrade. But I appreciate that it's not just a one-off.
Yeah.
As, like, between I/O and strength and then price to performance, $2,000 for a chip like this, dude. Fucking stellar. Okay, 100%. I could recommend this every day of the week. The same way I recommend the Mac Mini.
Just don't be dipshits like us and don't cheap out on the internal storage.
Oh my god, fine. Max out your fucking storage. I don't care how
make sure your RAM is good too, man. That's the only thing.
At least 32 gigs, preferably 64.
At least 32. Yeah, man. Shit.
Crazy. Then you got the Mac Pro.
Yeah.
How much do you have? 16? Because you got the Mac Mini.
Yes. Which still runs fine, but dude.
No, 16 is good, but it's just like video edit, dude.
Oh well, at least I mean, it depends on your projects and what you're trying to do. And long story short, 4K, you need at least 32, 64 preferably.
Yeah, I'm chugging along when it comes to the exports sometimes.
So the Mac Pro, this is a big one.
Doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, except for the PCI slots, that was kind of a nice addition to it. You know?
But see, they don't mention anything about putting in dedicated GPUs.
Yeah.
Or like the gaming GPUs that people are thinking of, which I feel like is part of the whole. But I also don't know, because this is for a very niche group that is like nowhere close to what we are. I mean, similar to what we are, but like like IMAX movie making fucking people, or you use this one computer to run an entire studio type of thing.
Yeah, and like that part I understand. Like if you're looking for something that has like pretty much the all out features, but then again, it's like what you said, like the common folk, the people who just already have like even like a regular M2 chip.
That's enough.
What you waiting for, dog? Just you're fine. You're not gonna worry about it.
Exactly, dude.
So
the Mac Mini is for the common folk. The Mac Studio is for your content creation. The Mac Pro is for your movie professional studio, top of the block kind of people.
Well, I think
that's why it starts at like $6,000.
Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's just they're really trying to hammer in the pro market and like actually hammer in that pro. Because before, obviously, it still is kind of this way. It's like, oh, people who have money just buy a really nice computer. But now it's really just heading towards that direction of like, okay, like if we just make it high enough to where it's like a business expense, like seemingly, you know,
people will buy it and then they'll just fucking write it off, and that's fine.
Exactly. So
you know Marquez is gonna buy one.
Oh fuck yeah, for sure. I mean, just because why the fuck not? You got the money for it, dog. I'm jealous. 100%. You know, yeah, man. I mean,
here we go.
Nothing new crazy with the hardware. Kinda.
Hardware's we'll talk Vision
know.
Pro last. But
for sure.
In terms of like the general refresh release hardware, I think I charged $10. Nothing crazy. Nothing to write home about. I think personally the software updates are completely downplayed between the leaks and the actual keynote, right?
Yeah.
iOS 17. First of all, I downloaded the developer beta. I have the beta on my phone, I have the beta on my watch, and I have the beta on the iPad. I'll talk about each one as we get through it. But I have to say off the bat, I don't recommend getting a developer beta. I don't recommend getting the first open public beta. Wait until the second or third one, because they're always some kind of buggy. A beta to me has, because I've been doing the beta since my iPhone 6, like iOS 8 or 9, right? Betas, think of them like a living thing, kind of, where at first, smooth, cool. Oh my God, look at all the new features. I love it. And then as the day goes on and the days go on, it starts chugging and you start noticing the problems and the glitches and whatever it is. And it's not until that third or fourth day where you're like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have done this. And by that point, it's too late. You got to wait for some other kind of update or just deal for 6 months. So do not do it. Matt, when it's time, and I recommend it to you.
I had the conversation with you the same day. I said,
that's right.
I'm going to just... because I thought about it, I was like, I'm not even going to wait for the second or third beta. I'm going to just be a normal person. Because I've had the experience and I didn't really like it. I didn't like it.
Oh, that's true. But you had the beta, you had it on your iPhone 10, right? That was like a year ago, 2 years?
Yeah. Well, like that was, like at this point, 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. But I just wasn't a good experience. And don't get me wrong. Like I agree with like the sentiment, like having it back it up and all that sort of stuff. Like that's a smart thing to do. But for me personally, it's like, with the work that I do on it and whatnot, I just want something that works. Like, I applaud you for trying to experiment and like see what's going on with it, but I just don't want to be in that zone.
Matt, Timmy's calling me. Hold on.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just keep speaking anyway, though. He's fine, though. I understand. But so I do agree with the boy. I think that for what it is, just kind of wait on it and see what happens, And I think that just goes for a lot of developer type situations at the end of the day. So yeah, but did you finish talking to your wife? Come on, let's get back to it, baby. Come on.
My wife. Yeah, I had to make sure that the video was still going. My wife. No. Okay, so because she's on her way home, she got done a little early.
Okay, good.
So iOS 17. I can tell you the big takeaways that I've noticed that I've done is, first of all, animations are much smoother, and they feel a bit more like bubbly. Might be the wrong word, but they feel bubbly. They feel friendly. It's like oh, instead of it being all right, let me swipe home. It's like wee.
It's like
wee. I don't know how else to describe it. Just the ProMotion, great, dude. It's with these new animations, everything feels even smoother, and I didn't know they could fucking do that.
Yeah.
What else? Standby.
I don't see myself using it, but I mean,
it's so cool, dude.
It looks cool.
Especially when you're at night, right? The thing I don't like is you can't really customize it right now in the settings, which makes sense because it's fucking Apple, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it on there, you could swipe over twice to get to just like a clock with like your alarm or whatever. And when there's low ambient light around you, it turns red, just like the Ultra does.
Well, that's
and
cool.
It looks awesome. With an always on display, it'll always be on, but for me it's like a couple minutes and then it turns off because I got a 13
and does it just pop back on after that too, or no?
It acts the same way the Apple Watch does. If you have the Apple Watch on the charger and it feels some kind of vibration nearby, it wakes itself up.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay,
same thing.
That's fair. I mean, listen,
I think it's very cool.
If you had that, like in your situation, because you got the stand and everything, I think that's fantastic. Just for me, like my opinion, that's my other. I mean, I'm kind of curious. I might want to try always on display again at some point, just because maybe I didn't give it fair enough chance. It does kind of look cool if you have a cool background, so I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I see what you mean.
You could also now in the new 16 point something, you could just turn it into a regular always on display.
Oh,
okay. Turn off the cool.
Oh no, I already have that going. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But anyway,
they changed Apple Music a little bit.
Yeah,
and I think that's cool.
Yeah, the player, I guess, has now the album cover takes up the whole.
Yeah, so when it works, it's funny. Screen. It's cool. Yeah, when it glitches, I send it to you, and it's funny.
Very funny. It kind of looks like I like the Jonas Brothers one because that one's like you have like major labels and shit on that, and then you have the Metallica one. It's like
where it's broken.
I couldn't find the image, so I just got the JPEG from Google.
I put the JPEG a little higher up, and it's cut off in the middle.
I love too that like the blur and the pixelation just doesn't match up, so it's just like it's like super crisp, like with the background and just.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll fix it. I'm sure it's just glitches right now because again, it's
only been out a couple days. I mean, you got to give it some credit.
Like developer beta isn't even meant for me to have. It's for people who are developing things for the phone.
Exactly.
And I'm like, no, I want it.
Yeah.
All in all, though, iOS.
Got contact
17?
Posters, which is nice. That's cool.
Stupid.
One too.
It prompted me to do that today. I was stupid.
Oh come on!
Fuck, that's what I like, dude.
FaceTime.
Tracking.
I'm sorry. What you say?
Emotion tracking.
Oh, that's a cool one too.
That's a good shit. I'm actually like trying to deliberately do it.
Yeah.
So that way I can see how it works long term, and it's nice. Gives you little reminders.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean that and the journal app I think will go nice hand in hand. I kind of like to see that they're kind of delving into that more the health system with everything, especially mental. So that's cool. Especially when what's ironic is that being on your phone so much causes mental issues. So it's nice to see that
they're trying to combat it.
Well, I was going to say, because I think a lot of things, I think I watched an interesting video the other day, talked about it. And it's just like, it's like your phone's like your diet, like if you're only going to watch like stupid shit on social media, then you're going to be a fat piece of shit. If you have good things around it, like, it doesn't always have to be motivational shit. Sometimes it could just be wholesome, funny shit. A lot of times, like if you go on TikTok and Instagram, it's just like, which is still funny as shit. Like you have distorted memes, which that makes me happy. But then you see like videos of like people just getting hurt or whatever. I don't know. Like that's a whole other dichotomy of like talk, but Yeah,
it's fucked. All right, next on the docket, iPadOS 17. Basically the same as iOS 17, only now you have live widgets on your lock screen. You got multiple timers, and Craig was fucking blown away by the fact that we live in the future with multiple timers. Dude, that's the thing I forgot to say about iOS 17. The interactive widgets. Now you can just like have the home app as a widget, or like your reminders. You can interact with them instead of clicking on it and it opening the entire app. I use that a bit. Nice. That's pretty cool. I haven't had the chance to use the iPad and customize it. I've been too busy. Like we went out yesterday and I had work today. Yeah. But in a couple weeks, I'll let you guys know.
Sure do. We like you.
Next up, the one to me that's we had to do macOS first. All right, macOS Sonoma. I'm not excited for this fucking whatsoever. I don't know about you. And this is the update that I'm not going to put into any kind of beta because I don't trust it on my computer.
Yeah, especially with the programs that we got running.
Exactly.
I don't want it to obstruct that sort of shit. I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, I think for what it is, it's, you know, it has like a couple enhancements. It has a game mode. Well, game mode. I think if anything, that'd be more useful if you're just doing high intensity work. It prioritizes your CPU and GPU performance. That's nice. Again, like enhancements to apps, widgets, you know, kind of like following this whole trend of a redesign. I think if anything, it seems like this whole theme for OS right now is just interactivity and having it, and which is cool because I think if anything, a lot of times the OS feels separated, which is fine. It's not the way you want it to be, but you get a smoother experience if everything's interconnected, and I think that's what a lot of Apple fans really like. So, you know, especially even again seeing like what you were talking about with the interactive widgets. That makes them so much more simpler, like even like to get an idea, a reminder, or thought, or plan down. Just as an example, or if you're trying to send messages, whatever the case may be. They need a messages widget. Did you say there's a messages widget?
I don't think there is. Or rather, I've never used it.
That would be super fucking useful, but that's a different story. I would just have a whole big ass widget where you just fucking send text to people, like your most important, your pinned people. That'd be nice. So
that'd be pretty cool. It'd be nice and easy. You have the group chat right on the home screen, so you could just swipe past and be like, "No, I don't got to respond to that."
And especially when you're out and about.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
they updated continuity camera. And they didn't fucking say anything. You can now choose between the wide or the ultra wide.
Oh, thank God!
Light.
Waiting on that shit. That took forever because we had issues with that, even trying to do it with ours. But that's good to see.
How about they just fix the connectivity instead? Give us a button to pair it or something instead of it being like, all right.
How about if I just plug it in, it works as a fucking webcam, not this whole thing where it's like, well, it kind of works here, it kind of doesn't work there. Just fucking, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that's too much to ask. You know,
too much to ask.
Too much to ask. But anyway,
Safari profiles in Safari that I like.
That's useful because Chrome has that, and I love it because I could just swap between Gmails and I have different bookmarks, so it works out perfectly.
Safari's better.
Yeah. What, Safari better? If Safari. It fixes that shit up, sure, yeah, definitely. I'm here for it. Well, Safari only pisses me off because I give it to its credit. It's so advanced sometimes that certain websites I don't have to talk about just don't want to fucking work with it. So, you know.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Only issue, but besides that, it's fine. So, you know.
Sonoma is probably like my biggest dud to me. Like I feel like the last big update we got was Big Sur, and they're just going to kind of ride it out for another year or two.
It's fine. I mean, you know.
That's fine, dude. I don't need them to change Mac OS. Mac OS is fucking great right now.
It's a passing year, you know, so it's fine. It works.
Oh,
tvOS, that's your
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that.
No.
tvOS, now you can FaceTime on your TV. I don't give a shit. Watch OS 10. Okay, I've been using this. I only updated my phone so I could get this beta. This is what I wanted. And let me tell you, dude, this shit is great. All right, you got little redesigns to things like the heart rate app, activity, the weather app, so they're more friendly and it's better and it looks cooler. I fucking love it. The new watch faces, always stupid. I don't care. I'm always going to use the same one. Infograph modular.
Graph modular?
Yep. Well, now with the widgets, you don't have to use that. But now
I only use that for certain
globe.
I use that for certain focus modes. That's about it.
Yeah, but I've been using that one watch face for like 5 or 6 years. But now they have this. I'm trying to just turn it off because you could just scroll to see the widgets. I'm trying to see how it is.
Yeah,
the widgets I think are very nice. You can track your mood again too on the watch, kind of in the Mindful app. Where you scroll and you click a couple things and it's like, all right, I logged how you feeling today. That's fine. I think that's great. I think really my favorite thing is the redesign of the activity app. Now they're trying to, like your weekly, the weekly update that you get at every Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you can just see it at a glance, and instead of it being just your move, it's like, oh, here's your move, how you are this week. Here's your average. Here's your exercise time. Here's your average. Your standing. Your steps. I'm like, all right, that's nice and in depth.
It's nice and nifty, baby.
It's pretty cool. I think if there's a beta that you should want to get, it should be this one, because I think you would appreciate the little change of life things. There's just a couple stupid things too, like, you know, before you double click the crown and it goes to your previous app, and then you click the like the longer button and it would have every app, like it would be like your app switcher has every app and you can close them.
Multitasker.
But now it's the long button is control center, and if you double click it's
there's a control center on watch now. That's kind of cool. What am I talking about? There's always had it, but like I was thinking more in depth. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But now instead of swiping up, it's not there. It's control center as a side button, which is cool because I like that. Now you can actually use the button, but it's like The double click I liked a lot, and I use that a lot. And now to double click, you're just like, you look at all the different apps, and then when you go to scroll, you're not scrolling through the app list. You're scrolling if you want to close the app or not, and you have to swipe with it instead. It's little shit like that doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. But it's just that, everyone says that sort of shit though with Apple products when they do an update and then they get used to it. I mean, think about when we lost the home button. Everyone was freaking out about that shit.
Everyone was pissed.
And now you find out kind of faster to do it this way.
It's it doesn't matter.
That's why I always hated people like who were like, well, my iPhone was working perfectly fine. I was like, okay, dipshit, no one cares. Just trying to make it work faster. Okay, calm down. You're the slow one here. So, but anyway, I'm just saying.
I think it's great, dude. WatchOS 10 to me it's not all that I wanted. I did want some kind of like complete overhaul. There's a lot of change here. I was hoping for, a lot of people wanted like an iOS 6 to 7 kind of overhaul for the 10-year whatever. It's not that, but it's close. And I think I like it a lot.
That's fair. Oh.
All right.
To the big honcho. The Vision
Apple
Pro.
Vision Pro. This is crazy. It is a MacBook Air and then some built into your face.
You know what? Love the memes.
Yeah, the memes are pretty good.
I love the memes, bro. I saw some people comment and they were like, man, for $3,500, I better be able to feel that shit when I'm watching my videos. You gotta calm down. Or like,
oh my God.
And then it's like one guy, he has like a picture of like the bus meme where it's like, used car because my car broke down, Apple Vision. Like the Apple Vision's on the happy sunshine side. No, stupid shit like that. But you know what? All jokes aside, I think it's interesting. I think, the OS looks interesting. I think I like the idea that you can control it with your eyes. You want my opinion? I don't think the eye tracking is going to really work well in this V1 version of it. I don't really care if the battery pack's outside, because here's the thing. I mean, yes, I would like to see maybe a more compact way of figuring that out, but obviously it's first gen, so you can't complain too much about it. It's better than having all that
warmth on your face.
Yeah, I mean, I can see this just being more of an at-home thing. I don't think people should be thinking that this is a very mobile device just yet.
No, please don't wear this in public.
You'd be a freaking idiot if you were doing that. The crown's nice. I do like that for in use of control.
I love that the crown is in more places.
The hardware, I mean, like, again, it looks like it's a good quality build.
It's crazy.
I don't know how to feel about them looking like science goggles. Because, like, let's be honest, you can get this for $3,500, or you can get 3 for $4 at like Home Depot or something. But the thing is just that I would much rather. I guess this is me personally, but I understand because it's mixed reality. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's too much for me to ask for it to be polarized, but I guess that's the point, though. It's mixed reality, so I don't know.
I think the worst,
looks like googly eyes.
There's one thing about this that I hate, okay? And it's that it's the photo shit, the 3D photos. You can use a 3D camera on your face and take a video of where you are to then go back and experience it. And the example they use is a birthday. Let me tell you, I understand the technology. I understand the want and the sentiment.
Oh, don't take
Do
it
not
that
tell
way.
me.
Don't
Do
take
not
it
come
that
to
way.
me and tell me that I'm going to have to wear this to my kid's birthday party. And that's what you think we're going to do. Don't fucking wait
Imagine
a second.
a parent just takes a normal photo on the iPhone and then they see you with your kid and you're just doing this fucking like big stance with the stupid goggles on your face and shit.
And then you click the button. I just realized something.
I mean, if you're discreet about it, it's fine. Like, you don't have to.
How it's on your face?
What I mean.
What are you talking about?
No, what I mean is
hitting the button, you mean?
No. Like, okay, like if your kid's like say blowing out the candles or some shit, you just be in the background or some shit, like you don't gotta like be there,
You don't gotta be right on top of the cake, and she's like, "Daddy, I'm gonna blow out the candles," and you're like,
You're good, dear," and you're like in the fucking corner.
Hold on, I didn't hit the button, dear.
Hold on, all right, let me do the tracking real quick.
Matt, I know that the entire internet already thought of this, but it just dawned on me.
What?
The kind of porn that people are going to make.
I didn't want to reference that, but yes, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a big Pornhub investment. They probably already got the developer's kit before you even thought about it.
They're probably like, get on it. They're just yelling like in the back room, not where the casting couch is, but the real back room, where they're like, get on it! Get the glasses! That's what they're doing.
Oh God! Why am I just thinking about that in my head? Oh God.
Are you
This reminds me of a story that a coworker told me. I won't get too much into it. No, but that's exactly how they are in set sometimes, because it's like, you know, they'll be doing stuff and whatever. And then of course, like the director, like long story short, he had a friend in California that works for Bang Bros. And he was saying how, like, you know, he started out as a runner and then eventually became like a film person, like, you know, like a cameraman.
Yeah.
And he would just do that shit because like those people are just so he said just the porn industry is so weird. Right. So then he'll just stop the cameras and be like, can someone get me a cup of coffee? You know, they've been fucking for 3 hours. Can someone get Juliet a fucking grande caramel macchiato, please? So like, but screaming it the way that you did it. So I can't imagine the guy with the goggles. He's just like,
Oh, do you want me to yell it for you?
Yeah. No.
I cut! Get her fucking coffee! She's not giving me the energy I need! Fuck!
This is supposed to be a mature conversation. Look where
it's because it dawned on me, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, because I didn't think of it. I was too innocent. I was like, man, in a couple years, when they come out with like the third or fourth version of this, and it's cheaper but super strong, fuck buying a computer. I'll just get this because it already has the processing in the head. Dude, I wasn't watching the conference going, man, boobs in 3D.
It's so real I could touch him. Bro, imagine they come up with haptic gloves too. Oh, that shit's getting too much. It reminds me of that Black Mirror episode we keep talking about. Fucking
with Anthony Mackie?
The fucking Viper episode with Anthony Mackie and his friend. If you haven't seen that episode, it's a good episode. Go watch the episode. But man, that was a fucked up episode.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
But yeah, Apple Vision. You may think it's for productivity, really for porn. But that was WWDC this week for sure.
You know what's going to be funny?
If I have the money, if this blows up, me and Miguel were buying
100%. That's what I said.
We're buying Vision Pros and we're playing Striking Viper. I'm not going to buy one. We are playing Striking Viper.
Wait a second.
We are playing Striking Viper. Not what I said.
Dude, this video is going to go up, and this will be the reason that we never get like Apple tech early to review like Marquez does. Because Apple's going to be like, why should we consider you?
Because you're just going to have like Tim Cook, right?
How it was for porn.
You're not going to see it now, but in the camera, you're going to see Tim Cook. We're like, get the hands and everything. He's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Welcome.
Do you really think
Apple.
We're going to give it to you?
We're not happy to have you here. Fuck yourself. God.
I think the wife is home. All right. On to the reviews.
So that was tech news. Now we're on to Recs and reviews. I think I said this last week, but Miguel and me are kind of doing a little bit different. Because like, as you know, we do like 1,000,001 fucking reviews. But we're like, you know what? Let's do just one new thing that we listen to and a classic that we want you to watch or listen to. I think it's pretty well concised down to it.
Yes.
But I'll let my friend go first because I actually like the movie choice. Or if you want to do music, it doesn't matter. We can finish off music. It doesn't matter to me.
No, we can end on music. It's fine. Did you know this movie actually has a 6.9 IMDb rating? And I can't tell if that's deliberate or not.
I feel like it's deliberate because I actually enjoyed this movie a lot.
So we watched Ted. He's gonna come through the door. We watched Ted. Ted, to me, it's a little disappointing in that I loved this movie when I was younger, and I don't know if it's like a maturity thing or it's my sense of humor has just changed. But as funny as it wasn't like laugh out loud, fall over funny like it used to be.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, you got to remember that this came out like when we were in middle school. And,
oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, oh, haha, like Dirty Bear. Like, that's funny. And plus, this was like the peak apex of like Family Guy comedy because of Seth MacFarlane. Yes, exactly. I think Mark Wahlberg did really good in this movie, too.
He's surprisingly good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really well done. I think, but yeah, I do agree. I think the comedy, especially if I were to go back and watch it now, I mean, something I do got to say, the CG of the bear is actually like really good.
This movie's like more than 10 years old and he looks great. I don't understand.
It's weird. And I think they made a second one, did they not?
They did. We will probably watch it this week.
That's fair. What did I get? 6.3? Okay. So not as
that makes
good.
Sense.
Oh, I remember. This is where the fucking meme comes. Like, my turn, assholes. Fucking love it, dude. Yeah, no, I think, I mean, it's a good little buddy comedy classic, you know? I mean, it's either you love it or you hate it. I personally would probably still like, if it's kind of one of those things like where if it came on, or if it's just like that was something we wanted to watch if we're having a drink or something, sure. I'm sure we'd have a good time.
Yeah, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it again, but if it was on TV and we're like shooting shit, I'd be like, yeah, background noise, that's fine.
Fuck yeah, dude. But it's the best.
TedIsreal.com.
That's fair.
As for the new movie, since it's kind of movie season, and I didn't have time to go to the movies again, my new review is Across the Spider-Verse. I highly recommend it. I thought it was a lot of fun. If you really want to know my in-depth thoughts on it, just watch the movie review.
I'm just gonna I'm hopping on that thought too because I had the same one for this week.
W.
So, that was pretty much for all three of us, including Brendan, which he isn't here today, but he'll definitely be around for more episodes.
We'll talk about Brendan next week.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys worry.
But yeah, no, it was a fantastic movie. Like I said, I stand my statement away from the comments. I liked it slightly more than the other two, but still, it was
yes, you did. So, you can defend yourself, whatever.
I kind of have to. Like, if I have a shit opinion, I'll stand by it. I don't give a fuck. But I guess my movie though, like for classics, I don't know. It was funny. I was talking to my sister this week, and you know, my sisters were like really into they were like really into that grungy like MTV era, and of course, like Jackass came into the conversation. I was like, yeah, fuck it. You know, it's only 90 minutes. Get a little quick watch and just rewatch, see what was fucked up, and it was more fucked up than I remembered. Ironic that
a great movie.
Ironic that IMDb has an average rating of 6.6 on it. I think this is like a 10 out of 10 Jackass movie.
Didn't we watch this together when you lived up here?
We did. I think we watched it because we were watching all of them before.
Oh, that's right. We were watching them before we went to go see Forever, and then Forever got delayed.
Oh yeah, because we had but then I moved.
So yeah, you did.
Yeah, yep. So that was a good time. Yeah, you were coming over every Saturday or Friday, I'm pretty sure. So it was a good time. But anyway, yeah. There was a lot of good shit that just wouldn't even fly today. This is the first movie that I learned about what a gooch is. If you don't know what a gooch is, I'll put the description on screen, or Miguel might, or I'll just Google it. But you know, the gooch scene was fucked up. The fucking taser and the nuts was fucked up. The car one, even the first one, was funny as shit. Remember when they're trying to sell the car? So they bought it. I think it was a rental. They got it. They fucked it up in a car rodeo and then brought it back. I don't know what happened.
I couldn't tell you what happened.
But I'm gonna pay for this, right?
I still haven't seen
just the shit that they did was like, how did you get away with it? Like, I understand, like, you know, they got arrested a couple times during the movie, but Jesus Christ, you know, it's nuts, man. But I loved it. I really
have you? You saw Forever, right?
Unfortunately, no. Actually, I don't think.
Dude, neither have I.
I think it's on HBO.
We should do that this week.
We should. That'd be a good time. Well, of course, we got Transformers to get to as well. So
Transformers is more important.
We can make it like a sci-fi movie for sure. I like how like IMDb says self. These guys aren't themselves. They're fucking drugged out. But what else? I think I had like one more favorite scene in that. I'm trying to remember. There was just so many good ones. I mean, I always like the golf cart scenes, and I'm pretty sure this one had the bull riding scene too. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Like those are like probably pinnacle Jackass moments. Again, I think maybe it just goes without saying, but it's obvious. Like, I think my favorite stuntmen in this whole movie are probably obviously Knoxville, Debo, and I think Pontius is probably like my third favorite.
Yeah.
I think Pontius. Oh, the pranks too. The parent pranks are fucking hilarious too on Bam's parents.
Well, did they have wasn't there a crocodile or something?
I think one was, I don't remember if this one was a crocodile or if he just had the firecrackers in his dad's room. I'm trying to get the fuck up for work. It's a shame, man. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but I hate have you heard about what's been happening with Bam or no?
Isn't he like wanted by the police or something?
Wanted by the police. He's like always been on the run from, I guess he's having some drug issues, some alcohol issues. He was calling out Steve-O because Steve-O's trying to actually protect his kids so they don't get taken away. You know, so that's another fucking thing. So it sucks. So I hope Bam gets better, but you know, I think that's what ironically pushed that into my mind too. I was like, let me see what these movies really were. I mean, I feel bad for Bam. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's movie reviews for the week. So that's our Rex and reviews for that.
Rex and review.
Let's just do some music real quick and
who's he got?
You're on home, eh? Yeah.
All right, send her on home. You want to go first with the music?
Sure. I'll start with the old, I don't know what it was, but Acid Rap's, I think, like turning 10 this year. So, of course, chances
great album.
Fantastic. It sucks because, you know what? It's like everyone says, you know, he had The Big Day. The Big Day is obviously his weakest album. And it was apparently so bad it just tarnished his image a lot.
It did. He put that out and then he disappeared.
Which sucks, man. Because, I mean, like, I think what happened was, I think my biggest issue with that is he was just doing a lot of trend hopping. You know, I think that's really what it came down to. There's people that really like that album and like respect, but it it kind of felt too. It was all over the place. It wasn't organized. The bars were terrible. I'm sorry, but that's just how I felt. But you know, I mean, then he has this whole reunion thing going on with it. You know, he's performing. He performed recently in Chicago. So you know, if you go back to it, I mean, I'll give you some highlights. Good ass intro with BJ the Chicago Kid. Fantastic, dude. The backup singers kind of doing their thing and almost like in a choppy Kanye-esque way. The drums are great because they're all like bubbly, like the early 2010s internet rap type shit. You know, so that was cool. Pushin' Man, I'm your pushin' man. I'm your pushin' man. Cocoa Butter Kisses. Bro, the fucking barber, he's like, it's like 2 weeks ago she's yelling fuck me, 2 weeks later she's saying fuck me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that sort of shit, you know. It's so like, it's just funny writing sometimes, you know. But it talks about like of his youth, his kind of him just getting into like acid and psychedelic trips in Chicago. Juice is a good one. Lost with No Name. The guitar is amazing. I love No Name too. She's really good on the hook. Favorite song with Childish Gambino. That reminds me of like high school. Just a fun ass. Chainsmoker's good. Acid Rain's kind of like a chill vibe. It's kind of prolonged, but it's a cool vibe. Nana with Action Bronson. I know some people don't like that song. If you don't like Action Bronson, you probably just don't like the song. That's really what it comes down to. It's Action Bronson, you just hear the fat through the microphone. Bro's just talking about food and just being gangsta as fuck.
Isn't Action Bronson like a fitness guy right now?
No, he's fit as fuck now, but I mean at this time, like
this time it was his whole thing. He's like, I love eating and bitches.
Because he had Fuck That's Delicious, which is an amazing food show in New York, by the way. I feel like he did Europe too, but he did a lot of just East Coast joints, which I thought was cool. Mostly like pizza, Greek, like you name it, those types of like mom and pop like shops that we grew up around. But he used to do that a lot in his raps too, which I thought was amazing. So, and the outro, just as good as the intro. It kind of follows the same vein, but it puts things on a nice note. So it's very colorful. I think it's kind of a good cusp between the old and the new forms of hip hop, and I think it's a good time. So that's Acid Rap. And for my new music review of the week, Metro Boomin presents the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Man, so
it's a great cover.
Amazing. The thing I gotta say is that what I'm really happy about is you have a lot of people on here, mostly rappers and whoever, like the top talent, that mostly raps or talks about fucked up shit. But it's a clean album and it still bangs just as much as a regular album would. And I love it for that because it's obviously has to appeal to kids and shit too.
Yeah.
Some star tracks, obviously. A lot of tracks are really popping off, especially on the charts right now with this. Annihilate's a good intro with Lil Wayne. You know, has a little Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, go crazy. And like, you know, he got that raspy, wheezy flow. Sway Lee just does amazing on the chord progressions in this song and the intro, which I think is just like, gets a superhero vibe going, which again, like, I didn't want this to be like this is a trap album, but it's for Spider-Man. Like, it's like, no, like, it sounds like this was made for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a score, but in a soundtrack.
Am I Dreaming kind of sounds like an early 2010s rap track where it's like with the singer, like singing like this grandiose pop hook. And then you have A$AP Rocky coming with this, like, I mean it in the best way possible, but like a B.O.B. type rap verse just with the beat, which I love it though. All the way with Future and Lil Uzi, just good chemistry on that track. Future just gets a really good hook going on. And Uzi has like this kind of cool vocal solo, you know, bridge part to it, which I thought was nice. Hummingbird. I think Hummingbird is definitely I think you've seen on my story too. It's probably my favorite track on this whole thing. Because I've been following James Blake for like the past decade now. And I'm just so happy to see that he's finally like working with like a lot of major artists now. And his vocals, what I love is just that they're so like, I think rap views kind of put it the best way. It's very ethereal, you know, like, cause it's like because he used to sing in a lot of choirs growing up. So he kind of brought that to his production and you just hear like the fucking textures and all that shit. Baller as fuck, dude. I'll go through like 3 more tracks here. Cause like the last half of the album's not bad. I forgot to rate Acid Rap 10 out of 10, by the way. But with this one, kind of after Calling, which Calling is like probably what I think is going to be the big hit on this album. It kind of goes in and out. Like, I like Silk and Cologne. I like it a lot. I think Offset flows really well on a dance hall beat, which I think is nice. Link Up I wasn't too crazy about. I like Don Toliver's hook on it, but it's okay. Self Love with Coi Leray. I think this one's like a nice chill track. There's not really much going on lyrically, but it's there. And the only ones I really would write home about is Nonviolent Communications, because and you got James Blake on the hook again, which is amazing. A$AP Rocky just killed his verses on this album. And then 21 Savage kind of finishes out the last two tracks. And then Nas Morales just has this like
out of nowhere.
Man, it's just a weird pace, right? Like, like I didn't really know how to take it. But he's cool because it's like Metro kind of pays homage and does like a New York type beat because fucking Miles and both it's like New York vibes and shit. Cool beat switch up at the end, and it just kind of ends on like a Metro trap like string type shit, which I thought was cool. Overall, I think I really like this a lot. There was kind of a couple duds here and there, especially in the later half. I think the first half is like flawless for the most part. I think I would definitely give it a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Sure.
8 is pretty high. So that's fine, dude.
I mean, granted, Metro's my guy. So,
yeah.
I'm a little biased, but he's just been going up, man. I'm happy for him. So,
he's doing good. Didn't he just put something out like last year, too?
Heroes versus Villain, which also did very well, which, again, that was just as much of a banger. But all right. Let's get to you. So, let's, which one are you doing, the old or the new first?
I got to be honest, the old one, I didn't get through the whole thing.
Damn. Let me see what
it turns out that there's like a Fall Out Boy feature on one of Timbaland's albums.
What?
That Timmy had found. Yeah, on the first Shock Value, on the first one. And it's like 2007 Fall Out Boy too, so it's pre-hiatus, and you're like, this is weird.
That is
I didn't experience this before.
I mean, we don't really remember as much at the time, but Fall Out Boy was like really involved in like not just pop culture, but especially hip hop culture too. So
they were like crazy.
Yeah.
You know they have a new feature coming out on Taylor Swift's album?
Yeah, I heard about that, and I could care less about Taylor. I just want to hear Patrick.
I just want to hear more fucking Fall Out Boy. That's what I care about.
So, I mean, good for them, though. Fantastic. I'm there for it.
Clout.
They were supposed to do one on American Psycho, but that never pulled through, so they got Demi Lovato, which was just as good in my opinion. So
yeah, that remix, she fucking killed it. So the one album that I did do, listen, man, it's the same thing that I did with Meghan Trainor. And I will probably do it with whatever. It's if there's an album that I think is going to impact or have an impact or people care about it in like the normal common folk sphere, then I gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of boy bands, but I did review Another Life by Big Time Rush. I'm surprised that they put out an album. I gotta be honest
with you, why do you sound like so embarrassed about it?
Because it's not that I'm embarrassed. It's that it's not my wheelhouse, and it's not something I want to do often.
You sound like you're kind of like lifting your foot, because I'm like I don't know what to say.
I don't really know, man. Because it's not my. You know what? To be honest, though, their last album they put out in like 2012, I bought that shit on iTunes, and that shit was great. All right, it was like 24/7 or whatever it was called. Great album. This one, I wasn't expecting them to ever make new music. Kind of the same way I look at like NSYNC or One Direction. My anticipation is that they are going to tour and do whatever, but they're not going to put out new shit. Kind of like what MCR is doing right now. Yeah. So the fact that they actually, and again, I don't follow them. The fact that they put out an album, surprising. Good for them. Yeah, and this is like, it is surprising how this album, it's not like, we're just trying to capture what we did like 10 years ago, or we're going to just make the new sound, like kind of what the Jonas Brothers are doing. Or they're going to go, let's make like a 90s throwback pop record. It isn't one of those. It's all of those. It's surprisingly jarring first listen to go from like the first track. I don't even have the tracks in order in front of me. But it's so funny. You go from like Can't Get Enough, feels like what the Jonas Brothers are doing with like a modern, like new wave pop take shit. And then you get to like Waves or Weekends, and you're like, is this Boys to Men?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I think they matured a lot because
it's really wild because it's so all over the place, but it's so good.
I listened to a couple tracks as well, and the only reason why is because they were just popping on everybody's FYP like crazy, because they had Gustavo come through again. He was like,
yeah, I saw
"You're
they were doing
releasing
stuff on
new
TikTok.
music," and I'm like, I said they should just do a whole series like this on TikTok, just like 10-minute episodes of BTR, which would be funny.
People
Because
would
like
love it.
out of all groups, I
Hello.
always found Gustavo to be the most funny. But yeah, man, I mean, I heard them perform on a morning show. I think a couple days ago when they released the album. I think it was like a Thursday or two ago, and
Yeah.
they sound pretty good. I mean, like, granted, like, you know, you have like a lot of like 30-year-old girls there because like late 20-year-olds because that's what we grew up with. You know, I mean, that's just how it goes. But I'm glad to see that they're doing well.
Yeah.
And I mean, what would you give it overall?
I got to give it another listen. I think it's like a good 7 right now.
Wow.
Because it admittedly it is jarring, but there's some stuff on it that I really like. I'll come back to it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I'm here for it. I think maybe I'll have to give it another listen too. I mean, right off the bat, you know me, man. I mean, it's not like a music nerd, but you know me. I'm in like my alternative R&B space and my hip hop stuff. So for me, this is out of my wheelbarrow as well. Kind of feels awkward. I feel like whenever we listen to albums like this, it almost feels like we took our pants off or something. Really, it's a little awkward
because we're kind of like caught off guard.
Yeah, well,
but it's
it's you know what it is too. I'm just not used to listening to albums this squeaky clean, you know. So
yes,
I don't know.
Most of the time, there's a lot more roughness around the edges.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, they're from the millennia, so just kind of used to that.
That's all right.
But I like them better. I like their comeback better than any other, you know, Y2K comeback for sure. So I'm here for
100%.
You know, so that's good, man. Well, that wraps up music reviews. That wraps up Recs and reviews. That wraps up episode 57.
Everything. 57. That's crazy.
Got 10 more episodes of 69. We're just gonna
can't wait.
Completely
a political episode.
We're gonna sabotage everything.
Can't wait.
Have you ever heard of my friend Anything Bull? We're on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, whatever the fuck else is social media that you're on. Did I say YouTube?
Instagram.
Yeah, I said on YouTube. Make sure to check out the links in the description if you're watching on YouTube. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, of course. Make sure to get the audio listens wherever you're at. Miguel, what the fuck have the people been missing?
So, what have you missed? Today is Friday. On Wednesday, we did the ultimate Spider-Man movie tier list, where, of course, you know, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out. We had to rank all the Spider-Man movies, the live action, the cartoon, the whatever, okay? We had a great time. Brendan was here with us. You should check it out. Before that, we did do our movie review, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We had a good time, and people are very angry at our opinions. You want to know why they're angry? Click the link below. You'll find out yourself. Lastly, last week, we talked about WWDC. You know, we wrapped up the final leaks before it came out on Monday, and today we went through them. And we also talked about Ezra Miller and The Flash. Ironically, the reviews for The Flash are coming out, and apparently it's very good. So we'll see how it goes. Folks, just wait for next week. Monday, we got the Transformers review. Wednesday, we have the Transformers tier list. This is my most anticipated summer movie. So you bet your ass.
This is Miguel's moment.
This is my moment. You bet your ass that on Monday, if this movie disappointed me, you'll hear about it. I'll scream. I'll cry. I'll shit my pants.
And
Brendan will be here with us.
He'll be vomiting too. I wish I got.
He's going with me tonight, man. Anybody who doesn't know, man. Oh, dude, I'll be screaming. I'll be sending shit in the chat. If I'm disappointed, I'll be yelling in the car. I'll be pissing and shitting. I want you to do a live stream reaction. I think on the phone. That's what you should do. I think we should both do that this week. Let's experiment with that. We'll see. You mean like a short or just like a?
Let's just do a short. Just like after a short.
No, we could do the TikTok like what you did when we saw Fast X. You'd be like, how was it? Be like,
Yeah, I think that's a good way of doing it, and you'll see some reactions from us.
Like
you'll know how we feel before we get too deep into it.
Yes, sir.
But with that being said, episode 57. All right, folks. 57 episodes into this bitch. Make sure to check out the links and the bios wherever you're watching. Make sure to check the socials at Anything Bull Pod on all socials. Make sure to check out what Miguel said that came out the last week and be ready for what's coming out next week. His feet hurts. He has a foot fetish, and I need to fuck off. Goodbye.